Welcome back to the channel, folks. In today's video, we are running a very quick battle between the Apple iPad Pro loaded with the M4 chip here. This is the 11-inch iPad Pro, by the way, and the iPad Air here loaded with the M2 chip, and this is 11 inches as well. Which one of these should you go for? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, the answer is that obvious. No, it's not that obvious, and we'll talk about why. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, I want to go ahead and start this video backwards. So let me go ahead and give you my take first, then we'll go over the details as to why you should choose one over the other. In my humble opinion, you should go for the iPad Air, the M2, for most people. All right, so let's go ahead and start off just with some of the physical features, talk about some of the differences that we see between these two tablets here. The very first one you will notice is that the iPad Pro is much thinner than the iPad Air here. The iPad Pro in hands feels more premium when compared to the iPad Air. And it makes sense. The iPad Air is supposed to be a mid-range, and the iPad Pro is the premium, the Pro tablet here, right? At the top here, we have a power button on the iPad Air. We also do have one on the iPad Pro, but they don't work the same. On the iPad Pro, it only functions as a power button, but on the iPad Air, it combos both as a power button, but also as a fingerprint sensor. That's how you'll be able to unlock the tablet to get in. On the iPad Pro, you have Face ID. That's how you unlock your tablet. That's a super secure way to unlock your tablet before you get in. And by the way, fingerprint sensor is also just as secure. Then you have your volume rocker and all of that good stuff. You have the Apple Pencil Pad. By the way, they both do support the all-new Apple Pencil Pro, which is another reason why you'll be fine if you were to pick the iPad Air here. Anyways, continuing here with the physical features, we do have a quad speaker setup on both tablets, but here's a kicker. On the iPad Pro here, you actually do have 4 speakers, thus the quad speaker setup, 2 on each side. But on the iPad Air, you actually have 2 speakers. What you see here, 2 here and 2 grills on the other side are just grills, right? But the device itself only has 2 speakers as opposed to 4 that you have on the iPad Pro. At the bottom of the tablet, you have USB Type-C ports, right? On the iPad Air here, it's a 3.1 USB Type-C, so that's a Gen 2, as opposed to a Thunderbolt 3 that you have here on the iPad Pro. Of course, when we are looking at some of these differences, you might see some advantages to the iPad Pro, of course, because it's supposed to be a Pro tablet, but most people don't need that extra speed in order to get things in. Anyway, on the back of the tablet here, you have a single camera on both tablets, even though it looks as if the iPad Pro here has a dual setup. It's actually just one. And next to that, of course, you have LiDAR, and then you have the flash, which you do not have on the iPad Air. Now, going back to the front of the tablets, you have selfie cameras that are 12 megapixel ultra wide cameras, right? So you have the ability, or they do support center stage, I should say, right? So that ability to put down your tablet, and when you move during a video call, it will track to make sure that you stay in frame. On the back of the tablet, those lenses I just highlighted are 12 megapixels. So as far as quality goes, these are tablets. We're not expecting the world out of them. So quality, definitely good, or definitely decent for tablets. Now let's move on to more serious stuff, the displays, right? On the iPad Pro, you have that tandem OLED, right? Which means you have essentially 2 OLED displays next to each other. And with that, Apple has a way of making the iPad Pro not only beautiful with inky blacks, inky reds, colors really pop, and they pop even more because tandem technology makes it super bright, very, very bright, in the world of tablets, especially of OLED displays. On the iPad Air here, you have an IPS LCD. Things may not be as inky black and inky red as you have with an OLED display on the iPad Pro, but trust me, colors are really, really vibrant on the iPad Air here. They do pop. Image quality is super sharp also because the resolution is pretty high on both of these, and PPIs pretty high also. So very, very good image quality here, super sharp. But when you put them side by side, the image quality on the iPad Pro is going to be slightly better. Obviously, if you don't have them side by side, you would never know because image quality on the iPad Air is just that good. As far as performance goes, in my humble experience, day-to-day stuff, I couldn't really tell much of a difference, right? You know, obviously when it comes down to loading heavy projects or heavy apps, they would load faster on the Pro here. But I mean, is it worth the extra money though? You know, it's that type of dilemma that most people are stuck with. But anyway, so when it comes down to performance, day-to-day stuff, pretty much the same thing, right? My hope was that Apple would do something about the multitasking ability of these tablets, or at least do something that can make you really tap a bit more into the power that is offered by either the M4 loaded, the M4 chip loaded in the iPad Pro here, or the M2 chip loaded here. Not much from that front, but when you get into that heavy production type of work, let's say video editing and, you know, rendering videos in high resolution, 4K, 8K, that type of stuff, that's when you start seeing the difference. But a lot of people are not doing that. If you were in the market for a tablet that you can use to edit your videos, if you strap for cash, the iPad Air can still do the job. It's an M2 chip, extremely powerful, right? So again, that's another reason you should be considering this here. Now, as far as battery goes, I don't have much to say. So far, excellent battery. I don't think Apple has ever been known for having faulty or really bad batteries in general, you know, on their tablets. So this is just, I mean, so far, it's just like all of the previous iPads. Very good battery. They both do have support for the new Apple Pencil. I don't know if I mentioned that already. I have the Apple Pencil Pro here. They also do support the USB Type-C pencil, or the USB-C Apple Pencil, right? Unfortunately, they don't support the previous version of the pencils, right? So you would have to buy one of the new ones. The Apple Pencil Pro would run you $130, I believe, and $80 for the USB-C pencil, and they work pretty well. The new iPad Pro also is only compatible with the new Magic Keyboard. That's a pretty cool one, but it's new, so it's not backwards compatible, and these are things to keep in mind. Now, to reiterate my point from the beginning of the video, if you are just an average consumer and you're wondering whether the iPad Air here would do, if it's, you know, good enough, oh, it's more than good enough. Now, keep in mind, of course, that buying the accessories is going to be additional cost, right? The iPad Pro here will run you $1,000 or $999, and the iPad Air here will run you $599 or $600. And then, of course, you could get to play with the config. Of course, if you do want more storage, then you can go up the storage and all of that good stuff. So up to you. That's just my take. Let me know what your take is. Did you buy either one of these two? Were you in the market for either one of these two? I would love to catch you in the comment section. Don't forget, of course, to like the video, share if you know anyone who would be interested. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, as always, stay safe out there.